On today's video, Lost Kingdom 101 coverage begins. We're gonna look at Kingdom 59 versus Kingdom 185. Over the next few days, we're gonna talk a lot about Lost Kingdom 101. I recorded boatloads of hours from 3 different devices, 3 different angles, 3 different wars, so you really don't wanna miss out on any of it. This video is gonna go from the beginning, before Lost Kingdom started, when it was announced, Eve of the Crusade, the strategy, the plans. The first big thing that you should know about Lost Kingdom when it comes to planning on winning Lost Kingdom, big mistakes that people do. From the first video, we're already going to talk about mistakes and much more, including the first collision between 185 and 59. So sit back, enjoy the video, slap a like on it if you do. YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Today, level 4 passes coming down as Lost Kingdom begins. We're gonna go back before Lost Kingdom, talk from there, and get to this point. Here's the thing. Lilith have said, before we even go in there, just so you know, I recorded from 3 different devices. We're talking computer, old phone, new phone, 3 different accounts, 3 different angles. We had the top left, top right, bottom right, middle fights, everything covered, and there's coming videos. There's videos coming all over the place. I'm just recording 2 today and a boatload more in the next few days. So you guys really don't want to miss out on any of this coverage. We're going to talk about everything that happened to the point we got in the recordings, and we keep recording as things progress because Lost Kingdom 1 is not going to end in Zone 5. I can tell you that right now. If you guys want me to live stream one of these days that has like a big conflict in Zone 6, first of all, slap a like on this video. I want to see a lot of likes on this video. And secondly, comment down below if you guys are interested in the live stream. Keep in mind that I prefer doing live streams where I can talk to chat more than actually play the game. And if we get to the point where we are showing off the Lost Kingdom itself, I'm going to be playing a lot more on my phone and showing you guys things than actually paying attention to you chat. So keep that in mind and let me know what you guys prefer. Let's go to the beginning. Lost Kingdom Season 2 was announced and Lilith screwed up. They accidentally showed us who is participating in our Lost Kingdom, and that was that. We very quickly realized 103 were friends, 157 were friends, and 86 were friends. So what do we do now? Obviously, these 4 guys, 159, 59, 157, 86, and 103 are an alliance. Do we get more people in? There were talks about that. I can tell you this in hindsight, there was talks about it. It ended up becoming a 4v4, and that's what it is. Now, I'm not going to go into the diplomacy and into the politics and into the details. That's the one thing I really don't want to do. It's not because I don't want to be, I don't want to be, but it's not like I can't be a leader. I've been a leader of big alliances in other games in the past, and I've been a diplomat. I've been everything and anything. But in this game, I want to be the content creator. And so I didn't know what the hell was going on half of the time, and I plan on not knowing what the hell is going on half of the time, because in my opinion, all of these people are friends. I have friends in 149. I have friends in 163. Baba and George are fantastic people. Tintin is an amazing dude. All 3 of those guys from 163. We have M-Kiz, Big Rick, Jabba from Kingdom 149. Massive, awesome people. Really cool folks and strong warriors. We have folks in S157 who are great people, like August, who was the whale of Kingdom 58 for the longest time. Great dude, as well as other ex-SOC members. Shout out to the ex-SOC members. 196, my old stepkid, Legends Gaming. I can't say anything bad about those folks. Amazing people sitting in there and fighting hard. I don't really know Kingdom 86, but they're freaking warriors. And 103, we have Noon in there. NB, the whole alliance, they're massive people. And so I wanted to be on the sidelines playing for JWM. I am a JWM member, but covering everything. And so we knew the 4 alliances were going to be friends, and the decision was a 4v4. Now, we're going to talk a little bit in more detail about how these things evolved in later videos, but for now, we're building flags. The strategy here is pretty simple. 2 marches, 1 in the current flag, 1 ready for the next flag. I pretty much held the thing ready to drag it into the next flag as soon as that one popped. Bam, bam. We keep building flags left and right. You can see everybody ahead for the next flag. Pretty simple stuff. Lost Kingdom has 2 phases. Eve of the Crusade, and then the actual fight itself. Now, Eve of the Crusade was very, very quickly a big flop for us. It wasn't a flop because we tried hard and didn't get it. It was super clear as Noon ports into the forefront of the fight as soon as possible. It was very clear that 149 and 196 were massively overpopulated against us. And we hoped and prayed that those two would go at each other on the Eve of the Crusade for 1st and 2nd place, which they did. JWM pretended here and there, JWM did their thing. Nobody really wasted too much AP on Marauders. Nobody really went crazy on the forts, even though we did pick up massive points from the forts, but we used to do that anyway. But Eve of the Crusade is a game of popularity. Whoever has the most population will essentially win. That's how it works. And we knew it, and we knew that it was going to be a flop. And so, as many of you went, what, JWM, oh god, that was 7th place. I'm like, nobody cared. Nobody cared. We knew that there's no point in going against something we couldn't fight. There is no way to fight the overcrowdedness that is 196. If you go look at the Twilight, which I didn't record, but I can show it to you guys on the stream if you remind me. The Twilight event where you had to get level 6 Barbarian forts, JWM was number 1. But if you look at 196, overall, those 8 or 9 alliances picked up a lot more forts than we did. But they are spread across many alliances. As you can see, before we go back into the beginnings, the fight really was going to happen right next to that Hieron, and this is how the map shaped up. Nobody really cared about the top, neither 185 or 59. Just a few forts here and there, and that was about that. So Eve of the Crusade was a flop. Not that big of a deal. We knew how things were going to pan out. We knew 59 was going to go against 185. 157 and 86 were going to go against 196. 103 was going to not do anything, not because they don't want to, but because they drew the shorter stick and nobody was going to go against them. And 163 we're going to go up against 149, which we're going to talk about that matchup in a future video. The fight started in this area. Now, let's talk about Lost Kingdom really quickly as a whole. JWM came in to win Lost Kingdom, or at least to win the wars we were tasked on during Lost Kingdom. Winning Lost Kingdom is like winning Ark of Osiris. You do not have to have the most kills in the game to win the match. You have to have the most territory. You have to be able to conquer more territory and hold on to your ground. The same way in Ark of Osiris, you need to be able to take those altars and hold on to them. But it's inevitable to have open field combat. As you can see, I was nowhere near this open field combat. The reason for that, my troops are very limited. I'm a 45 million power player who's not a huge whale, have a little bit of resources to spare, but if I put 500,000 tier 4s in my hospital doing this, all those resources go out the window, all my healing speed ups go out the window, and I'm pretty useless at that point. The people who fought in here are people who were solely aware that they're going to waste a massive amount of resources and speed ups, but it wouldn't justify them not being in rallies. I knew that I couldn't afford all this, and so my priority was always rallies, and there were many JWM members like that. JWM's strategy and mentality is to win no matter what. And we know that to win means hold on to your territory and push. The JWM train pushes. That's what we do. And so a little bit of open field combat was very necessary, and we're going to talk about that open field combat in a moment as well as the video progresses. But let's talk about the mistake that a lot of people did. When you show up to Lost Kingdom and gain 50 million kills in the first 2 days, you're not playing to win the game, you're playing to get the achievements. I've seen a couple of 100+ million power players who I wrote down the amount of deaths they had before Lost Kingdom started. And it's a big list because I knew who were the people that I was keeping my eye on. And turns out that those folks never got that many deaths. As a matter of fact, I had more deaths than they did, and they're 100 million plus. How did that happen? Because they did everything in the open field, and when the time came to heal, they took their time and never showed up for the actual war. This was the first encounter of 59 against 185. What happened was we had the Huron in the center, and both alliances split above and below it and went at it. P went up against B&W at the top, and EK went up against JWM at the bottom with a Huron in the center where my face is. Anyway, this was the fight up top that met first, and this was the first rally launched by B&W. Now, B&W is a very, very strong sub-alliance that we have, but P are one of the main alliances of 185. And so to fight them was not going to be an easy task for B&W, which they really, really, really mastered well. They fought very hard, they dropped forts where they needed to, and they helped us push when the time came. They also held their ground very nicely, which is hopefully a place where one day more players will grow and enjoy being part of the machine that is Kingdom 59. But for now, this rally was doing massive work. While this was going on, flags were still building below the Huron to try to kind of meet up, and EK was very close to go up against JWM. P is a massive alliance. 185 are insanely strong, and we knew that the only way to beat them was just like High lost to JWM. It's meet head to head, fight in that area, but the first one to push back will manage to push a lot more. It's like Faye, one of our R4 said, a tug of war, except that once someone gives that big push, it's over. So you can see right here, the first rally, it was decent. B&W took a little bit more losses, but unfortunately couldn't get that flag to not build. And so that flag built up, and the fight began from there. You can see B&W with a strong set of commanders going up against a non-expertise Martel holding the flag, which was a little bit of a question mark. But they had just so many troops coming in over and over and in and in. Look at how many troops were in that flag compared to the rally on B&W. Of course, the YSG got himself a little bit of extra good stuff. You can see right there some AoE severely wounded, which is fantastic. But what can you do? There are a lot of tier 5s in here. There were some on the rally as well. And a lot of fighting happened. How do you win a Lost Kingdom? You win a Lost Kingdom by breaking the other team. And by breaking them, I don't only mean in terms of resources and troops. It's a game of mentality. You need to understand that if you are attacking, the first few hits are going to hurt you a lot more than they're going to hurt them. And it's going to actually work in your favor. Because in the mindset of the enemy, when he's beating you on the first few rallies, he's building confidence. And when an enemy builds confidence, an enemy tends to slip. It tends to try to push more than they're able to, and that's when you will be able to strike back. 185 did not do that. 185 were very composed and understood the name of the game. They understood that the tug of war was going to happen between two flags until one of them burned, and trust me, that fight lasted for hours. That fight lasted for hours. So we have a little bit more action happening on this flag. And in the meantime, a lot of action happening across the map, which we will highlight in future videos. Do not worry. We have all the action captured. But this is where things really happen. JWM dropping a flag. We're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. We are inside that flag defending with infantries this flag. This is one of the reasons I do not stream. I could stream from a different account and just show a different POV while having this. But we really had all the plan laid out in terms of markers, and everything was very clear to everybody. We all knew what we needed to do, and so we defended our flag that was building with a little bit of infantries. Their flag was already built, and therefore they were able to rally this flag, which kind of sucked, and I'll tell you why. There's a stupid thing in the flag building system where if the flag is about to finish, when a flag finishes, it pops out all the troops out of it. But it doesn't stop a rally from hitting. And so while this flag was planted, we were holding the rally and it was going fantastic. All of a sudden, the flag finished building and insta burned. Why? Because everybody got kicked out of it and the rally hit it. And of course the rally hit it. It was already hitting it. And of course it's gonna burn it. There's nobody in there. And so the flag burned. It's not that big of a deal. We put it out and got back in. You'll see the rally coming in a moment. And boy, oh boy, this was the beginning of what was gonna be a crazy fight. This is actually a fantastic play by EK. It's a very, very strong play because they are coming out strong. They're coming out swinging first. They're like, we're not going to let you put that flag down. We're going to come in hard. And quite frankly, they had the read. They went with the Archer March. They went with that YSG. They had the read on this flag. And even though the rally wasn't doing that good, and we were definitely holding on to this flag, it was the beginning of what was going to be a crazy fight. One of the best things about, and then you can see right there, it burned because we got all kicked out. Where's the brain in that, right? Lilith, come on, guys. What the hell is that? If we get kicked out, the rally needs to get canceled as well. This is ridiculous. As you can see, all of these guys were in the rally. It's a no garrison flag. I was like, really? Really? Okay, cool. Put it out. Get in there. We're in the flag again. And it's time to get on with the fight. The first big thing EK did fantastically well is they dominated the open field for some time. Now, I explained to you previously that the open field is not a place where you win fights. But the open field can be a place where you win fights so long as you fight the right fights. When you open field combat each other just for the open field, nothing is gained out of it. But what you're about to see is how EK used their open field presence to really pressure us to have to come and fight them. The reason for that? When you're fighting in the open field, severely wounded is what you get. It doesn't matter whether you're hitting a solo hit, on a solo march, or on a rally. And so while JWM were focused on the main task, which is rally the life out of this flag, it is time to start the timer. We have collided and now it's time to start trying to push back. We found it really difficult because the open field was so populated with EK that the moment our rally made it in, they did not shy away from swarming it. And even though they took big losses in terms of severely wounded, that really hurt our rallies. And it didn't only really hurt our rallies. Big shout out to Box, ported up there, instantly ready for the battle. He was one of the biggest presence on the open field. You can see him in there right now doing work. While I was part of the rally, trying to get into this action, going for the burning of the flag, EK really pressured us to the point where our rallies were getting dominated. They were getting dominated, not by the flag, but by the sheer amounts of on-field combat. JWM don't shy away from challenges. JWM saw the challenge and met it with whatever was needed to fight it back. And so you will see in a moment, we're going to start a rally, which again, EK were really keen on being on the open field. And we were trying really hard not to fight in the open field on their territory. But once rallies started to come in, and you can see a sigil moving, a red sigil moving. We're in simplified graphics, so it was crazy laggy. But you can see the rally is hitting right there, the flag. And EK had such a huge presence on the open field that we were doing everything we could to push them back to get that rally to fight and have a proper fight. But you can see the guy right there at the top, right, Ed something. I can't see the name from here, so I apologize for butchering your name. Right up there with his massive amount of marches that he sent. And he sends a very annoying Ethelfled march to hit our rally, which debuffed the rally like crazy. While that happened, EK pushed forward, and now our rally is getting destroyed by the open field. And on top of that, they're counter-rallying our rally to make things even worse. And so even though our pairing was probably one of the strongest pairings out there nowadays, and it could have gone up against this flag and beaten it, the bottom line was the open field was too populated and our rally was getting destroyed. you're going to see in a moment that JWM don't shy away from adapting the strategy on the fly. And so when we realized this is what's going on, we said, cool, if that's the case, cut the rallies, push them back, get that open field combat happening, and we'll see from there. This was a first report. We took bigger damage as expected. Because they can put in as many troops as they want into that flag, while we really can't. On top of that, we can't do that on the rally, but they didn't have to. They got massive work done on the open field by chunking us down. And so you can clearly see a lot of deaths because this is the fight against the flag itself. But the folks that hit us individually got very, very nasty open field combat reports, because we reinforced a lot more than what you saw right there. You saw right there 1.1k troops slightly wounded, 200k deads, 500k remaining, that's 1.8, and we started with 1.5 and got a lot of reinforcements. So a lot of those troops that you don't see in that report were casualties of 1v1s, and there were a lot of them. EK never shied away from fighting back. While we launched one rally, they launched a rally, and it was just a back and forth, and it was amazing. The one thing High didn't do against JWM is fight back. We always held. We did a couple of rallies on them, and it felt very insignificant. But EK consistently kept trying, and they did some very good work. You'll see in future videos also some of the things that they managed to do. They even got a couple of our flags, which was really, really interesting. We never saw that coming, quite frankly, and that's a good thing. That's an impressive thing for 185, and a huge shout out to the folks of 185, Notorious, and all the folks out there doing fantastic work, except for some of those who prefer to trash talk in their Alliance Kingdom and their Alliance chat, and then pretend like they're nice to outside of that. But we're not going to talk about all that. Plenty of trash talk, but again, a dog that barks rarely bites. And so these guys actually bit quite nicely, to be quite honest. They pushed and fought very hard, and they were very impressive, to the point where they were really winning the top side against BNW. Noon and Pepe had to drop Alliance and go into BNW to help out a little bit. And that's the beauty of 59. We have a couple of very strong alliances, and hopefully soon more bigger alliances growing in our kingdom, and then things are going to get very, very good. Clear the field was the next step. That was how we adapted our strategy, and it was clear that we had to clear the field before the next rally was going to come out. A couple of rallies still came out by EK, and they did put massive pressure, but JWM held their flags and held on tight. The most important thing I can tell you about this Lost Kingdom is that it's a game of mentality. Even if you run out of troops and resources and speed ups and all that stuff, way before you run out of those three things, you run out of mental strength. Not one time have I seen any JWM member go, damn, these guys might actually beat us. That never happened. We always had the confidence of going with everything we have, and until the last troop dies, we will never stop fighting. And that mentality is a mentality that was festered by the culture of what JWM is. A culture with a very strong leadership that was not questioned through Lost Kingdom. And we're going to talk about leadership and questioning and all that stuff in the next video. We have a very strong leadership and a very strong culture, which was brewed out of being a little harsh and being very strict. The people in JWM have to earn their space consistently, and that means losing troops for the cause and never giving up. If you are one of those who will say, it really looks like it's not a good idea for us, it's a bad investment, it's bad on our investment to fight this, you don't last in JWM a second. And the culture in here is fight till the very end, which is how JWM keep winning even against all odds, because the enemy always blinks first. Why? Because as you can see, the eyes are red because we don't blink. The eyes are red because a full 12 hours of straight rallies between these two flags happened until the first person blinked. And don't get me wrong, there were times where we were not on our back foot, but we were looking at where we were going to place that back foot. Because just like every alliance in every kingdom, in everywhere, people need to sleep, people need to work, people have families, people have a life. And so we did find ourselves in a couple of situations where it was a few less members than we would like to have online to keep putting the pressure. But as long as you don't blink, and those who are in don't have that mentality of, oh, well, I put everything in here on the hours that you weren't in, so I don't need to participate later. That never happens. The open field combat here was massive. You can see more JWM presence as time went by. We weren't clearing that place. And at this point, I had a march or two coming in for the open field as well. We had 4 marches inside all these different flags. We had 4 we were clicking help consistently. You had to get those helps going. We had a Pelagius on the open field. We had a bunch of different combinations on the open field, trying to do a little bit of damage here and there, being a little bit of a nuisance. But we had our marches up at the front in the cities nearby, ready to reinforce the flag or the rally as it happened. The open field was indeed cleared, and once it was cleared, it was back to the 1v1 rally versus rally. The unfortunate situation is, just like I explained in the beginning, open field combat comes at a huge price. And that price usually can't be met if you are not someone who is able to spend obnoxiously. Some of the folks at JWM have been buying War Machine fully every single day. In Call of the Ancient Ruins, among other packs that have been bought every single day. So the folks that you're seeing on the open field are folks that know they can instantly heal and instantly come back and instantly heal again. And so at the end, it's a game of whose wallet is bigger when it comes to open field combat. And unfortunately for our enemies, it was JWM who ended up at the lead in here. And once we took care of the open field, the rally started to come. And really from here on out, it turned nuts. We're going to stop here. I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you slap a like on the video. This was just an introduction of what Lost Kingdom 1 was. A little bit of the mentality behind what JWM is and the strategy. A little bit of how Lost Kingdom 1 became what it is and the steps along the way. We have plenty more to cover. The next few videos are going to include a lot of mistakes and strategy. They're going to include a lot of other angles of seeing things. We're going to also talk about who 185 were and how they put the brakes to the train for the longest time. And of course, at the end, we're going to see how things are progressing, and hopefully we'll have more content coming out as Zone 6 opens up. But for now, you guys get to enjoy this rally. That was really the end of the open field fight against the rally right here. You can see that we had so much more presence on the open field that once they started hitting our rallies, our march is starting to push in, and it became much more expensive to them than to us, and slowly and steadily this went away. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this. We're going to keep going with as much information as possible, get you as much content on the screen available. We have tons of reports, tons of rallies, a lot of good stuff, all the angles. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you have any comments, questions, anything, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, and all that good stuff in the description down below. Take care. Peace.